Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to my hobby blog. Today I'm very excited to be reviewing this book here from 2023, I believe. Maybe 2022, but this is the prequel to one of my favorite recent fantasy books, standalone fantasy books, although now it's not so standalone anymore with this book. I'm talking about today Bookshops and Bonedust by Travis Baldree, who, if you don't know, he also audio narrates the Cradle books by Will White, some of my favorite books in fantasy. But this book is all about Viv, who is a orc. There she is. She's an adventurer, and she gets injured. She gets stabbed in the leg in the very first chapter, and her adventuring band has to drop her off at the nearest town. And from there, we meet our cast, and she is trying to find purpose, is basically what this book is about. It's very short. It is 335 pages or so, and the text is very large, and so is the spacing. This book is just magnificent, though. Oh my gosh. So I read this over the weekend after finishing my Wind and Truth review. I almost said Wheel of Time. But I ended up doing that review, and I appreciate everybody who has commented on that and given their 2 cents, because that was a very hard review to do, especially because my audio went out in the very first recording that I did. But I read this book starting from Saturday, and I finished it last night. And what do I think? This is more of the same, and not in a bad way either. I loved Legends and Lattes, which is, here it is right here. And so picking this book up, it's basically like putting on a warm blanket again, one that you're familiar with. All of the characters are very well rounded. We have a lot of great characters who aren't really that, like, awful to read. Like, all of our characters, even the villains, are not that bad. And what I mean by that is that this book isn't as concerned about, like, being this poetic and, like, 10 out of 10 book, like Lord of the Rings, or, I don't know, like, Malazan, something like that. This book is the perfect palate cleanser, in my opinion, because you pick up this book and you know exactly what you're going to get, especially if you've read Legends and Lattes, which you do get a few chapters at the end where we jump ahead, because this is 20 years before or after Legends and Lattes. Yeah, before Legends and Lattes. So there is a big time jump between these two books. So these can be treated as standalone, in my opinion. But if you don't care as much as... I guess if you don't care as much about that kind of thing, then these books can be read standalone or together. It doesn't really matter. And I would definitely recommend reading Legends and Lattes first, and then Bookshops and Bonedust, because Bookshops and Bonedust definitely spoils what happens at the end, or what happens in Legends and Lattes, and because of how short it is, you're not going to have too much to have to basically avoid in terms of spoilers. Like, there's really nothing to be spoiled. This is a lot more of a mood type of read than anything, but I really enjoy it. The characters are really well-rounded, as I said, well-written. All of them are really cute, fun. You have a mouse character, like a ratkin is what they call them. The like the owner of the bookshop needing help, and Viv comes in and is like, hey, I think I can help you with that hole out front with, the rotten wood and, like, all this stuff. And I'm forgetting the name of that character already, but the mousekin is like, yeah, I guess if you want to, please don't do it. Don't feel pressured to do it. And then she does that, and then it's like one by one they do these like small fixes, and they meet various townspeople. One of whom uh, does a lot of baking, which is really fun. I love baking, so I always enjoy when I come across a baker character. And this book has a lot of baking in it, which is really nice as well. Any food descriptions that you read in this book will get you hungry or thirsty. If you're more of a coffee guy or a tea guy, there's a lot to go around for this book. And this book, what it does that Legends and Lattes did not do for me is that this book is a lot more book focused. Because Legends and Lattes, of course, is all about opening a coffee shop in a fantasy town. And in this book, they're just trying to revive a bookshop. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed our main character because she is injured. Her leg specifically is injured. I'm having hiccups. Excuse me. But, so she's like unable to even walk around. So she goes to this bookshop and she is talking with the owner, and he's like, hey, how about I lend you a book, and if you don't like it, you have to buy it. So they go back and forth, reading books and doing all of that. God, excuse me. But yeah, so they go back and forth trading books, talking about it, and it was just really nice to like not have too much to worry about, because the extent of the stress in this book is mostly just about like how will they fix the bookshop up? Are there going to be enough patrons coming to the bookshop? And there's even a section in this book where they try to get like the local author to come by and like do a book signing. And like that is so fun to me. This book was just really easy to read, really fun to read, really cozy, and yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to talk about with this book, because if you've read Legends and Lattes, you know exactly what you're going to get. And if you haven't, I would recommend reading Legends and Lattes first. Yeah, so I think that's about all I have. I really enjoyed this book. There's really not much else I have to say, but thank you all so much for watching, and please have a great rest of the day.